Johnsoon. See you around soon. Mwah. Hello guys, my name is Jonathan from Johnsoon with Double O, which is my new YouTube channel. I'm here today to introduce myself, and as you can see, I just launched my new YouTube channel featuring about my personal, not personal information, my TMI and all topics that I want to cover and have a conversation. And I wonder your opinion on that, and please leave your comments on my commentary section. And in terms of how come my YouTube channel's name ended up being Johnsoon with double O, actually Johnsoon with double O, which is abbreviation between my English name and my Korean name. My English name is Jonathan, that I named myself, and my Korean name is Sunho, and probably my biological parents named my name, probably, I don't know, because I was infant. And why I created my YouTube channel, and I thought while being chatty and while learning my English, and I thought being earning some kind of money and having my own boundary to talk about topic that I want to cover and that I'm interested in. And yeah, if I have my own boundary where I can freely have a conversation and talk about the topics that I'm interested in, would be really nice. So I created my YouTube channel where I can freely, as I just say, all my topics that I want to cover and share with you guys. And at the moment, I know, recording my own face and recording my camera and speaking to my microphone, my current subscribers are composed of all my acquaintances, my friends, my girlfriends, and my families. Yeah, so all potential subscribers that are gonna be my subscribers and who are gonna be all, push my subscribe button. I hope they're all gonna be potentially time affluent people who have fully capable of spending their own time on watching my YouTube channel anyway. So anyway, I digressed a bit, and actually digressing is my crucial point on my YouTube channel because I digress a lot, and I I believe, yeah, I've got one more thing. I believe at the moment I was planning on my YouTube channel, and I thought I need my own YouTube channel's name. So I named my YouTube channel's name Johnsoon with double O, and I got a bit of pictures of myself. Like I was thinking like being Johnsoon with double O would be fine. Yeah, so I looked up on YouTube to find out how many Johnsons are there who that I can who I have to compete with, and I found out 1,000, 10,000 billion of them are there, and I thought it would be much harder to survive from them, survive to be I don't know, distinct, to become distinct Johnson amongst billion of them. So I named myself Johnson with double O because Johnson's and yeah, it's obviously there are some Johnsons with double O, like maybe hundreds of them, but it's much better to compete with those billions of them. Anyway, I've taken down some pre-made questions on my note because I've never find myself good at organizing things in a logical manner. I always digress, always get lost, and yeah, it's kind of funny being I always find myself chatty person, but I always digress and get lost while I'm talking about things. Yeah. Well, anyway, one more thing I'd like to point out is if you have habit and if you are interested in learning different languages, please subscribe my YouTube channel and push the red rectangular button as you know, and so that you can notification that I start my live YouTube my YouTube live, or I uploaded my YouTube channel, so that you can get engaged in watching whatever Korean slangs, Korean cultural differences, and even I don't know how Korean kids spend their childhood in Korea region, and how adults spend their time in contemporary life, like going to company and quit and finishing their job and go to their flat, and how to spend their normal nights and after evening life after finishing company. But not that seniors, because I have not yet aged that much. So next pre-med question is my YouTube channel's content is composed of 3 factors that I made, of course. First one is commentary. I know commentary is spelled COMMENTARY, but my commentary starts with upper alphabet K, because it's commentary talked by Korean. So it's awful naming sense. It's awful sense of naming, but I didn't name. I didn't name it. One of my British friends named it for me, so I adopted. Yeah, I've got a slight responsibility for that. So commentary is gonna be I don't know, like it might be considered acting, considered just reading out loud, considered just leaving my own impressions on specific dramas, series, films, movies, and I'm gonna bring my descriptions or some lines, some footages of movies and series, and I read it aloud, and I'm gonna mimic all those certain characters, and I imitate, and I'm gonna imitate all those certain points of footages. Well, and I thought first a commentary of movie would be About Time, one of my favorite movie, and I've already got this description of the movie that I made, and I'm gonna record the commentary for About Time soon. And yeah, it's kind of out of context, but I can still but it's slightly but still out of context, but still I have some pre-recorded video on my laptop featuring me and my British friend Joji talking about some British cultural differences between British and Korean. And apart from that, some I don't know what else. It might be sound ridiculous, but I recorded a old-fashioned type of Korean motel when I went to business trip to very rural area. And when I got there, and I thought, what an obsolete. They're all facilities, all baths, toilets, water taps, and air conditioner were obsolete, and they couldn't even get powered, and I couldn't even power any air conditioner, and I could barely have hot water from so what was the word erosion shower tap. So that's the commentary, and second content would be Bear Jonathan, BEAR Jonathan. Yeah, it's not Yeah, I'm saying I'm the one who is claiming that's the content, but it might be not, because Bear Jonathan is gonna be all talking about my personal thing and my own topics, and that only only I am interested in, like some certain cultural differences. Yeah, maybe cultural differences. Yeah. Let me read through all those lists I've taken down, if you're interested in, and if you get interested in any of them, any of those lists that I'm gonna start reading from now on, please subscribe my YouTube channel and check out what kind of topic I'd like to cover, and how come I get it covered. Well, the lists are the word K culture, K food, Korean stereotypes, K enthusiastic English education, Konglish, ordering at a restaurant, kiosk. And we call it a machine kiosk, but I didn't know actually English people say the machine kiosk or not. But kiosk is kind of a machine with a really big display, so that all customers coming by a parlor and store, and they can order through the machine, and they get their products without any having conversation, uh, without any direct conversation with employees. And K-pop culture, hunting pocha is one of different version of Korean pop. Korean wedding culture, K-cup tea culture. Two views of the characteristics of Korean: being judgmental to language learners. Nara culture. Nara is a bottomless pitfall or something. Older Korean childhood, what really Korean people think of British culture. K small talk culture depends on aging and awkward laughing. Famous K drama, Falling in Love, Zombie Knife. I remember writing that down from hearing from my British friends, because British that my friend says British people have zombie knife instead of just jungle knife. And completely monolingual country, therefore restricted. Yeah, anyway. And criticizing English, reading scripts of my favorite movies and that I want to cover about, and covers my voice, an ideal way to love providing. Providing? Yeah, providing. That's good. And yeah, and lastly, pitfalls for language learners, such as pronouncing all syllables. And if any of you here watching my YouTube channel and got interested in any one of those contents, please subscribe my YouTube channel. And lastly, my last factor of my YouTube channel content would be the Jonathan Show. The Jonathan Show would be composed of having me, of course. I'm a owner of YouTube channel, and composed to me and my friend, my guest, potential guest. And I've got three friends who are committed. And being committed is too. It might be too much. I've got already three friends who promised and guarantee and assured me to appear in my YouTube channel from my The Jonathan Show as a guest, and I really appreciate that. I love you. So the Jonathan Show would be having conversation of mainly focused on having conversation about cultural differences, because I always have foreign guests on my YouTube channel, and they therefore always they have different foreign view from their country that definitely differentiating from our Korean culture, of course. So yeah, so kind of have a conversation about cultural differences all will will be the main factor of the Jonathan Show. Yeah, so you do know my name. You do know how come my channel's name ended up being Johnsoon with double O, and you do know why I created my YouTube channel, and my future purposes. And I'd like to one more thing, and I have one more thing to cover, just at as the last part of this introduction video. I'd like to share with you guys about this. How come I started learning English? I'm currently learning English and preparing for English exam named IELTS. Yeah, and I've learned English for about 2 years and 2 months. It's ongoing process for me and endless process for me. So by the time I just started learning different languages, English isn't my second language. Japanese was, and I started. Yeah, first stimulus that made me start learning different languages was having conversation about some kind of really trivial thing with native Japanese girls in Universal Studio in Japan. I went to Japan and I was queuing up and waiting for a activity to get on, and some kind and that moment, that activity having some structural functional differences, a functional error. So we had to queuing up for so long time, and I saw two girls right in front of me, and that time I'd spent about 1 year of watching Japanese anime. So I thought, I could make it. I could have a conversation with real foreign people. It was very arrogant of me, but I started having conversation with them, but they were very, very nice, very generous, very kind, very, very open-minded for arrogant Korean guy who speaks very weird format of language. Yeah, the Japanese, the Japanese that I spoke wasn't Japanese. It wasn't even a language. That but was the thing that I was speaking was what can I say? Somehow took shape of verbal formation coming out from my mouth, composed of some random Japanese words that I picked up from anime. And yes, and after all having conversation spontaneously, and I thought having conversation, apart from having conversation, get engaged in communicating with real foreign people was very enjoyable for me to do. I didn't know why, but I do know why. I just love it. I don't know. I was born with it. So I started learning Japanese, and after 2 years, and after spending all 2 years of studying JLPT, and I took the highest certification, and I thought, okay, I conquered Japanese. It was arrogant of me again, but I thought, taking this highest certification of JLPT was reasonable timing for me to take next step to English. I always, I don't know. I always take. I was, how can I say? I always, what can I say? Learning English and speaking English has felt always far beyond far beyond my capacity because I've never found myself good at learning things, and I've never gotten good score. I've never gotten any good and intermediate grade in my school days in education ed, education in my school days education. So, but I brought some know-how and my mistakes and teething issues from learning Japanese, and I adopted them, and I apply them to my English process to learn and accomplish certain fluency of English, and I've somehow accomplished certain fluency of English. Yeah, but I'm speaking English, but I'm not that fluent. I've got still so long way to go. Yeah, so that's why. Yeah, that's one of those reasons I started my YouTube channel, because I need to. I don't know. I need to compel myself to do learning English. So the reason I started learning English is I've somehow come across a random YouTube video featuring about a guy who said, I remember, he exactly said, I've always I always been suspicious of all those doctors, peoples who are already fluent in some kind of different languages, saying learning languages is not about your talent, not about your effort. It's all about how you do your learning process. And the guy said, I've always been suspicious of them, and I'm gonna debunk their strategy they claimed to be valid by by spending certain time to learn English with those strategy that all doctors and other, I don't know, influencers say. So but the result, and he just sometimes, and I thought, and he said, I'm gonna just start learning language by just shadowing a drama without anything, and I was really taken aback by his gambling. He was risky risk what can I say, his what can I say, and yeah, and I was really taken aback by his risky decision, because we every time we sometimes every time we get engaged in doing something we've never done in our life before, with something to fall back on, so that we wouldn't be so injured by our failure. But he just said, I'm just doing it. I'm just doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And he said, I've got no plan B. I know backup. So there's nothing for me to fall back on. So I got interested in. So I saw through the video of his YouTube channel, and the results that he made were remarkable. After all spending all 6 months of shadowing dramas and series, I don't know what series he was watching, he was speaking. After 6 months of shadowing, he was speaking, and the structure of his English was well structured, and he was fully capable of expressing expressing what he wants to say in well structured English, and I at that moment, to be honest with you, I was one of them who are skeptical of really very skeptical of learning different languages, skeptical of believing all the strategy upheld, upheld by all those influencers and doctors that it's not about talent, it's not about it's but about it's all about how you do things. So, but he wasn't representing all those untalented language learners, but he made decision, and he accomplished, and he achieved certain level of fluency, and that was very, very, how can I say, extremely mind blowing for me, because I had somehow known myself interested in and passionate and fascinated by idea of learning different languages, but I always make a run for it. I always made a run for it, making excuses like I'm not talented enough. I'm not talented enough, and I'm never gonna make it, because learning different languages and speak in English is solely for people who are talented and specially educated from their childhood by some open-minded and rich parents. But I just made my decision to, I don't know, just to surrender, very petty and not that diligent version of myself, and I started progressing. To learn different languages, but now I speak English, but not that perfect. I always, even now at the moment, I always have I always have struggle, and I always stutter. Even now, I'm stuttering a lot. I'm mumbling a lot. I don't know why. Isn't it? In on the basis of daily life, having conversation with my real foreign people, I don't that much mumble. I don't mumble that much, but in front of my camera, recording my laptop and speaking to my microphone, I somehow got a bit nervous, and I end up mumbling a lot. And please bear me. And I don't know, I got lost again. I digressed again. I digressed every time, everywhere, every moment. Yeah, so it could be happening. Whole, I don't know, initial purpose of starting to look at my YouTube channel was, I don't know, introduction video, but somehow it could be ending up in a totally different purpose of video. Yeah, anyway, I don't know. I know I've recorded my introduction video today, but it was gonna be awful. I know. I don't wanna. I don't want to upload this introduction video because I have to, because it's my 6th attempt to record my Sounding introduction video. First time, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, they were rubbish. They were rubbish, so rubbish. I couldn't even see through all the videos, and I just deleted them all. And I had to record my introduction video again. But I'm thinking that I just realized my first introduction video would never be satisfactory for me to see. Yeah, so I just 5 seconds ago I just made my decision that I'm gonna upload this video right now after pushing the finish recording button, and put my intro video and outro video all together. I think that I'm gonna put that starting video on my YouTube channel. Damn it. Yeah, so I don't know. It's all about. Yeah, I haven't. I've talked so many things in this video, and I was planning on recording my face only within 20 minutes. I don't know. It's 30 minutes long. It's yeah, it's 30 minutes long. I'm sorry, but I'm not sure you wouldn't ever you know make it to sit through my introduction video, but I hope. So I know my first introduction video would be rubbish, but still bear me. There's the whole purpose of naming my YouTube content Bear of Jonathan. Please bear me. Please my accent. Please bear my very poor English, very poor structured English, and keep watching my YouTube channel, please. I don't know. Yeah. So what can I say? It's Jonathan from Johnsoon with Davide. Yeah. And yeah, I love you guys. Please subscribe my YouTube channel and come back. I love you. I'm Jonathan from Johnsoon.
And see you around soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well done.